Chodesh Tov. Tomorrow, in addition to Shabbat, we will also celebrate Rosh Chodesh Adar, the beginning of the Hebrew month of Adar. The Mishnah in Tani teaches us, Mi shenichnas Adar marbim b'simcha. When the month of Adar begins, our happiness multiplies, it increases as we build up to the joyous holiday of Purim. The Mishnah contrasts this with what happens in the Hebrew month of Av. When we commemorate the destruction of the temples on Tisha B'Av, it says that our gladness, our joy decreases. And there's an important lesson to learn in the juxtaposition of these two very different and very important days. You see, Av, we commemorate the destruction of the temples. It is a historical event that nobody could have predicted. After all, how could God let God's own temples be destroyed? And that's why the fighters in Jerusalem held out hope until the very last moment, when they saw their loss and could only weep and be bereft. But for Purim, Haman, the wicked Haman, had declared months, a year in advance, that he was going to kill all of the Jews and confiscate all of their property. I can imagine the existential dread that they lived with for all of that time, thinking that they might die, that the people that they loved might die, that all that they had worked for might be gone. But that's not what happened. Along comes Purim, and instead of the Jews, it's Haman who is destroyed, and the Jewish people are saved. That's why Rashi says we get to Adar, and we celebrate miracles. Now, when we look at what happens in Av, we see that there was facts on the ground. Nothing could be changed. We could only look at the past and weep. But it's not the case for Purim. For Purim, while there was fear, while there was dread, while there was terror, while there was sadness of what might happen, that's not what comes to fruition. The future is not set in stone. And so when we get to Adar marbim b'simcha, we begin to be happy and joyous, because even if things look grim, especially when things look grim, we can look to the future with hope. And we can borrow some of the happiness that is waiting for us then and start to be glad and joyful now. My hope is that this Shabbat, you and I will be able to look to a future ahead of us, a world where things are better, where we're able to be joyful together again, where we'll celebrate Purim in our costumes and our groggers and be nothing but happy. Until then, let's borrow some of tomorrow's happiness and smile today. Shabbat Shalom.